If you get deja vu, you feel like you're experiencing something you've already lived through. So why does this happen? Well, some people think this happens when parallel universes glitch and briefly align, causing you to connect with the other version of yourself. Others believe that it's a leftover memory from a past life, bleeding through to your current life. But in reality, the leading explanation is that your brain misfires and mixes up present experiences with memories, causing you to feel like you've seen it before.
It's described by the subject as a sensation or feeling. Because of this lack of hard evidence, there's been a surplus of speculation over the years. Since Émile Boirac introduced déjà vu as a French term meaning already seen, more than 40 theories attempt to explain this phenomenon. Still, recent advancements in neuroimaging and cognitive psychology narrow down the field of prospects. Let's walk through 3 of today's more prevalent theories, using the same restaurant setting for each. First up is dual processing. We'll need an action. Let's go with a waiter dropping a tray of dishes. As the scene unfolds, your brain's hemispheres process a flurry of information. The waiter's flailing arms, his cry for help, the smell of pasta. Within milliseconds, this information zips through pathways and is processed into a single moment. Most of the time, everything is recorded in sync. However, this theory asserts that déjà vu occurs when there is a slight delay in information from one of these pathways. The difference in arrival times causes the brain to interpret the late information as a separate event. When it plays over the already recorded moment, it feels as if it's happened before because, in a sense, it has. Our next theory deals with a confusion of the past rather than a mistake in the present. This is the hologram theory, and we'll use that tablecloth to examine it. As you scan its squares, a distant memory swims up from deep within your brain. According to the theory, this is because memories are stored in the form of holograms, and in holograms you only need one fragment to see the whole picture. Your brain has identified the tablecloth with one from the past, maybe from your grandmother's house. However, instead of remembering that you've seen this pattern at your grandmother's, your brain has summoned up the old memory without identifying it. This leaves you stuck with familiarity.
What's your interpretation on déjà vu? Is that a past life memory sort of resurfacing, subconscious is picking up on it? What exactly is déjà vu?
Basically, your brain, when you say it's a déjà vu, it's not maybe a spiritual being telling you this is a sign, but it's your own brain telling you this is something that has happened many times to you and you are not paying attention. So we put it in a library or in a folder in your brain that says, whenever it happens again, pay attention.
Have you ever experienced a strong sense of déjà vu in a place you've never ever been? You may have lived in that location in a past life and your soul is recalling the memories and experiences that once occurred there. How often do you have déjà vu? Please let me know in the comment section and please do like, follow and subscribe for more spiritual insights.
Translated from French means already seen. Maybe you were in a similar situation in another life and the memory of the past catches up with you. But in this case, it feels strange because then all these computers, smartphones and gyro scooters were present in your past life, weren't they? Then perhaps it is not about the past, but rather a parallel world. And if I feel a sense of déjà vu, then another me from the parallel universe has already been here and did it. So I'm on the right track. After all, could we both be wrong? How many hypotheses do people come up with to explain their mental state? And since the sense itself appears randomly and lasts for a few seconds, it's hard to create it artificially, and it is much easier to come up with thousands of mystical explanations. Yet, there are several scientific explanations for why we experience the feeling that something happened before. Every year, there are more and more theories. At first, scientists tried to think logically. After all, most likely we really have already seen it, we just could not remember. Maybe we dreamed of something like this, or we just once saw it and did not attach any importance to it. Well, for example, we were in a family house and saw a photo of an unfamiliar ancestor, John Smith, and we forgot about it. Our brains filter out a huge amount of external information. Otherwise, we would be overloaded. So this information did not make it into our conscious mind. It fell into the depths of the subconscious. and when our relatives were talking about John Smith, we could get the impression that we knew about or even saw him, although he lived long before our birth. In this case, many try to interpret it as the mystical connection through the generations. But relatively recently, scientists have taken a step towards understanding this phenomenon. Despite the complexity of the artificial reproduction of the sense of déjà vu, a group of neuroscientists led by Akira O'Connor invented a method capable of causing déjà vu in the laboratory. Here's how they did it. Study participants were told words on the subject of sleep. For example, a bed, a pillow, a night, but the word sleep was not mentioned. People were just kind of hinted to it. And of course, the human brain will fill in the blanks via associations, so it would seem as if the word was said. Then they were distracted by another topic in order to reduce their focus on the original words. And so, after being distracted, they were asked the first question. Did the participants of the experiment hear the words starting with the letter S? And the rational part of their brain was telling them that, of course, there was no such word. And then they were asked the second question. Did you hear the word sleep? And now the people felt conflicted. A couple of seconds ago, they replied that there were no such words starting with the letter S. But for some reason, they had a strong feeling that the word sleep sounds very familiar. At this point, brain activity was recorded on functional magnetic resonance imaging, and it was evident that when people experienced déjà vu, the frontal areas of the brain responsible for making decisions were activated. As a result, neuroscientists came to the conclusion that the brain carries out a reconciliation of actual events with those that we believe have occurred. By analogy to the participants of the experiment, it seemed that the word sleep was pronounced, but in reality, they did not hear it. Their brain made it up. And if a similar error occurs, then the brain sends us a signal, which we all know as a déjà vu phenomenon. So, don't worry, when you feel déjà vu, no one from your past lives call you, and even the parallel universes keep silent. In fact, your brain finds errors in the memories and points you to them. It is a mechanism the brain uses to perform a checkup on itself, and this is evidence of a good memory. By the way, this is why the frequency of déjà vu decreases with age.
Most studies of déjà vu are based on first-hand accounts, so why can't one be yours? The next time you get déjà vu, take a moment to think about it.
Searching for the magic frequency. And we start with 100 hertz, and we look through the microscope to see if anything's happening. We watch for 5 minutes. Nothing happens. We try hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, if not thousands, until we find the magic combination. Because we believe there just had to be a better way. There had to be a better way, and we think we may have found it. I have here 2 identical tuning forks, both tuned to the note A, the note an orchestra tunes to. These forks are both made to vibrate 440 times per second. We say their frequency is 440 hertz. If I tap this fork, putting little pulses of energy into it, the second fork will also vibrate in sympathy. And if I silence this fork, we just may hear the other singing its tone.